Oh, come with me to the rolling river while the weather's calm and still. We'll have some fun and laughter with the adventures of Codger Biker. Well, it's not the sea, but it is a river. The River Mersey. So I've just been on a mini adventure underneath that and over the river next to it. And along there is Otter's Pool Promenade, where all the dirt and rocks they took out from underneath the river made the prom over there, I believe, 90 years ago. Anyway, this is how that went. What a lovely day. Here we go, the notorious Liverpool traffic lights. Everywhere you look, traffic lights, traffic lights, traffic lights. Maybe he's going on a crusade. Actually, that's quite an omen, that, to see a bloke with a knight's cross on his back, because where I'm going, the bloke who built it was an ex-crusader, I think. The guy doesn't seem very affable anyway. So here we go. This is the Queensway Tunnel, even though it was opened by a king in 1934. It was the longest road tunnel in the world for a bit. Not anymore, obviously. And all the soil and stones from this went on to Otter's Pool Promenade. I'm pretty sure it's a 30 down here, but nobody's, even the bus isn't taking any notice. So coming back, I want to go up that tunnel there, because that comes out by the Liver building. I generally miss it, but just for you I shall try. So this is an old tunnel, everybody's all in one bit of it, look, all 4 lanes. So in the olden days it used to be very smoky. With all the catalytic converters, even that bus is not putting out any diesel fumes. It's really not too bad. And best of all, motorcycles, it's free. So it looks like we're at the bottom of the river here. But above me now is the whole river, the ferries, everything. I'm on the bottom of the river. So we're now coming out in Birkenhead, the other side of the river, and this is known locally as the Birkenhead Tunnel. I always get them mixed up. The Kingsway Tunnel was opened by the Queen. This is the Queensway Tunnel, which is opened by a king. Very confusing. If you just call it the Birkenhead Tunnel and the other one Wallasey, it's a bit easier. So, motorcycles. If you come through any of the Mersey tunnels at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if one day it gets changed, but at the moment, if you go over to the left, over here, there is somewhere a motorcycle bit. Probably this bit, is it? Over this bump here, and it's free, and I'm through. Yeah, I did that a bit wrong, but anyway, we're through. Now I'm looking for the A41. Taking it easy. My little old Royal Enfield, trundling along. Probably getting this lane. So roundabout. Second exit, straight over, says the B line. Okay, I'll trust you. I've got A41 in these lanes anyway. The A5550, where are you? Oh dear, was that it? Okay, I need to turn around and go back. I missed my turn. Gone quick. Don't want to miss me Flint Bridge. The A550. given there was frost on the car this morning, it's not too bad this at all. These cheapo heated grips are nuclear powered. What I do for you people of the television, sitting here in a traffic jam in the middle of nowhere. Look, nice field though. I love my field. You look like a paddock. I like your paddocks. Not sure what the difference is, but seem to be surrounded by trees and hedges. Lone clays for safety reasons. What? Nothing. There's no reason to close that. Somebody's left a van in it. I suppose if you're a royalty, all you ever do is go around opening things. Not a bad job. Hello, do you come here often? Anachronistic though, this day and age, in my opinion. Okay, Flint. So, let's go over the Flint Bridge. I don't know why I like this bridge. I think it's because I remember when it first opened. And at the time it seemed quite exciting in my little world. I think the only impressive thing about, well, it's impressive, but it's an asymmetric single span bridge. Looks like some bloke standing with his legs wide open. The power stations and everything all around it hardly add to the ambience, but here we are, a little bridge. Wonder what Edward I would have made of that then. He'd have probably liked the power station. He was all about power, wasn't he, that bloke? Aren't they all? The micro adventure continues. There you go, there's your cooling towers. Don't know what kind of power station that is, probably gas. Charging up all your electric cars, that. One good thing is the roads are pretty empty around here. Apart from those traffic jams that due to roadworks. But as I say, that bridge is known as the bridge to nowhere, which I think is a little unfair because it's a bridge to somewhere where I'm going. Flint, we're in Wales. A RAF, should see that soon, my favourite road marking. Just sounds like what it means. A RAF! Slow down, a RAF! Yeah, oh, of course, I've got to remember, all Welsh towns are 20 still. I don't think that's been rescinded. There was talk of it. There we go, look. A RAF! Slow. I bet the locals are all come past me in a minute. But anyway, I'm following what the instructions, and there's the police, so you know. Flint. It's very difficult to ride at 20 miles an hour. Well, there are worse bikes to do it on. It's here. Punk rock. Castle Road, that's a bit of a clue. I think this is the car park. Yes, it is. There you go, look at that. What's all that then? Flint Town United football team. Is that why we've come? Social club? No. Come to look at this. I have been here before. I think I videoed it before. This is Flintcastle. Built by Edward I, I think. I don't think he, well, not personally. He had some toff build it for him. £12.77. Castle Superfluum. It looks a bit muddy. I suppose I should go and have a look. I've only come here for a place to go and to eat my dinner, believe it or not. Somewhat muddy down here. This would have been the tidal moat. Water come in, fill this up, and still trying to keep the English out now, and I don't blame it. Ooh, a bit of a bog. So this thing, I think it took 18,000 people to build it. 18,000. I think it was the first castle that old Longshanks, Edward I, who was a bit of an expansionist, built this to control the D, and his first sort of beginnings of the colonisation of Wales. So a lot of people in Wales still don't like the English, and I don't blame them. But actually, was he English? Probably a Norman or Norman descent. Load of aristos. Nothing to do with your humble codger biker types. So anyway, this tower, much bigger than the others, so that you could defend the way in, and it's separate with its own moat. Look. Oh, there's a tower. I've got to go to the top of that, haven't I? You can't come all this way and not go up the spiral staircase. So this is inside the walls. Now, it was actually blown up by the English, by the Cromwellians in the English Civil War. But before that, it was attacked, besieged by the Welsh, I think. And to stop them getting it, the English set fire to it. And then rebuilt it afterwards, so I believe anyway. Whoa. Not a big fan of heights, but you got to have a look. So if you ever come to Flint, all this is free. Now, when the river's in, the River Dee, the sea's that way, this had a commanding view, and there was another castle over that way, I think, on the English side of the river, controlled both sides. And then this was called a plantation, similar to the plantation that came later, where they brought English people in, I think, to colonise the area. So hence why the English are very unpopular in parts of the world even now, colonisers. But it was a different time. It's difficult to judge people from a different era, and it was all about nobles anyway. Scottish nobles, Welsh nobles, English nobles. At that time, England was 12 times bigger than it is now, in that it would take you a day to march from Chester to here, and I could do it in less than an hour. So 24 times bigger in terms of travel time. And none of these houses or anything would have been here, probably forests. So quite brutal anyway, a lot of them. However, here I am standing at the top of an 800-year-old tower with some pigeons, and it's still pretty solid, thankfully. Now I'm going to have to go all the way back down that spiral staircase again. Ooh. I only came here to get a sandwich, which is in my bag. Round and round and round and round. A lot of steps. I didn't count them. You can see that tower's on its own. There's the moat around it. Would have been quite something. to look at anyway. I came under the River Mersey and over the River Dee, over the Flint Bridge, and I've seen Flintcastle, which is here long before me and will be here long after me, hopefully. That's really what appeals to me about these places, not so much the violence and conquering that went on, it's the timelessness of them. Wherever you think it's old, and I know all about that, being codger biker. Right, back home, let's go. I'm going to get back to you when I find that little branch line inside the Birkenhead tunnel, if I can find it, because I like it. Back over the Flint Bridge. Okay, back to the Birkenhead tunnel. I know $1 Million Bogan said he bought a yacht, but I don't think so. I think he's bought a carpet store up near Flint, near Hoylake. Motorcycles, through we go. Thank you, it's free for me. Not paying police officers, no. Okay, now the trick here is to stay in the left hand lane, look at the Queensway. If you want to come through the Queensway tunnel and come out by the Liver building, there's a little trick. If of course I don't miss it, which is very likely, I usually do. Right, so we're now right at the bottom of the river. No signal, as you can see, rerouting. Doesn't smell too bad. I do remember, 20 years ago you wouldn't be able to see going through here. Particularly the buses, there's a bus ahead, they were the worst. Diesel buses of the 90s. Dreadful. Here we go. So no signs, nothing. So thankfully with them going down it, I know it's okay. Also, give it some of this. My own tunnel. Power rage. So you go down this tributary tunnel away from all the mass and you come out in a moment. Well, GPS has picked up again. I think there's traffic lights on it. Look, when it comes out, do you know where it is? By the Liver building. Cool, isn't it? I love that. Then you're back on the Strand. Past the Liver building. Okay, so a little bike in the winter, a little adventure. Little adventures have to be great big ones. I've enjoyed it. I've got my Zero Fit Under Armour on, so nice and warm, heated gloves, heated grips. Here I am in the centre of my hometown. So, on that note, Codger Biker is out. Albert Dock.